It's Debra Atkinson. Let's face it, sometimes we all need to go light, no matter who you are. But if you have a special condition, maybe fibromyalgia, arthritis, whether osteo or rheumatoid arthritis, or another reason why you need to go light with your weights, you can still work. We can still get overload, leading to muscle tone, which is really muscle strength, muscle endurance, and we need all of it. And even if you can go heavy, we can't continuously go heavy and keep building. We have to cycle back down in strength and conditioning. We call that periodization. So having a plan about whether you're going heavy, heavier, heaviest, and or dropping back down to go light is really good. But here's what I'm going to give you. No matter what, if you are heavy, needing a break, or you've got an injury, you've got a special condition, I'm going to give you 3 workouts so that we can illustrate how this is possible with every muscle group that you do. I'm going to give you a 2-for-1. So not just how to make light work, but I'm going to give you 3 arm series. So in this, you'll be able to go to the bookmark of 3 different variations. Here's how we make light work. I'll explain it at the end, but we're going to start with pre-fatiguing. Second, I'm going to show you how to use something called tempo. And third, I'm going to show you how to use something that increases volume, and it's a different way to superset. So there they are, pre-fatigue, tempo, and superset. Let's go. For this pre-fatiguing workout, means that literally we're going to do an exercise that makes the same muscle we're targeting tired before we get started. Now I'm going to do 3 exercises total, but the first one is intended to make you tired so that you can actually feel the muscle group work harder when you get to it. So I'm going to start right here with a long lever. So I want you to first retract the shoulder blades, coming back down, dropping the arms down. I'm going to go palm back and move the weights back. Now, I happen to have 3 pounds. This probably should be a really lightweight. Soup cans might be an option for you. And or 1, 2, or 3 pounds, you may be able to do 5. But if you can't hold it up here while I'm doing this with you, probably it's too heavy. So we always want to make sure that you're pushing, holding, and that means you own it. This is a weight that you can lift and you are moving with your muscle. There is no momentum here. If we pause at the end in a lifted position, not at the bottom, we're in charge of the work. The muscle is engaged. Good. Now we only have to do about 10. And we make this work as we're holding it a little bit longer. And you'll see more of that coming down the pike with the next set. But here, and then come back down. And we're going to do 1 more. Good. And we're going to call that about 10 because I'm talking, I'm not counting. How'd you do? So here, I can feel those tricep muscles in the back a little bit more than I did before I started. Now, you can choose any exercise you want. So for those of you that a kickback is not comfortable, or you want to sit instead of stand, you can do that. You're going to drop the head in alignment with the spine, and I'm going to kick back, and then come back in. Now I don't have to hold it quite as long. That pre-fatigue set did its job. I am fresh. I've not lifted weights for a couple of days. I'm due, and I'm already feeling the burn. Now, that's not necessarily an indication completely of I'm working hard enough, but it's a good hint, definitely. And you're going to push back and bring it back in. Try and keep those elbows in and the shoulders down and away from your ears. Keep your head down. So you're looking at the floor, not forward, straight ahead. Good, nice job. As long as you're not swinging, you're okay. If you can't hold this up, just to pause a moment at the top, again, this weight is too heavy. If you really want to work the arm, and bring it back down, and then push, and in, and push. Good, and relax. Now, shake that out, okay? Now, if we're truly resting between sets, we're going to take about a minute at least up to 2 or 3 minutes between. When we're going a little bit lighter, we're focused on muscle endurance. So we're gonna wait. I'm gonna talk you through this rest. We're gonna do a second and a third set, okay? So literally this will take care of your tricep work today. And know that you could choose a different exercise. If you prefer to do an overhead press and that one works for you, you could be doing that instead. You could do 3 sets of that. You could do lying down on your floor and a skull crusher. That could be your choice. But the point is, when you're doing a lightweight, you're going toward a little bit more endurance, and we take a little less rest between sets when we do that. But don't rush until you still want to have that, okay, I feel recharged, I can pick that back up again. Set 2, are you ready? Come down, weight on the heels. If you're standing with me, be sure you're arched, not rounded. Tailbone is tipped up, chest forward, head down slightly. Here we go, push. And again, you're just gonna own this. And then push. And bring this back in. And push. Now, I'm stopping at about 10 repetitions here, but if you feel like you're not at fatigue with the weight that you're using, you could go to 15 and you can even go to 20. And that's still within endurance. When we get a little higher than that, we're just really doing a little more wear and tear. If you're gonna do multiple sets, you're doing more wear and tear on the joints and probably a little less good in terms of muscular endurance or crossing over into that muscular strength. So press back and bring this back in. And again, push and bring it back in. And push, bring it in. And again, push. Good, and you're just still pausing at the top. A little bit of fatigue sneaking in here. Good. I'm gonna do one more. You can keep going because remember we've got a little rest period coming on. So I'm gonna do one more. Third and final set in order to be done. Here's why multiple sets is better. In all of the research, focus especially on looking at body composition, gaining lean muscle mass, and those that are featuring women in midlife. You're not a man, you're not a mouse, you're not even a young woman. We need to do multiple sets and we do better with that. So at least 3, unless it's a total recovery workout and you just want to stimulate those muscles and work on form, wake up some muscles by doing other exercises. You're going to do 3 sets of higher repetitions, medium or even low repetitions, but it's getting that repeated stimulus in the volume of number of sets. It's really important. So sometimes we'll do 3, almost always 4 at times. For those of you who are working on metabolism and bone density, we do 5. And I have on occasion thrown in a 6 for a client. Are you ready? You should be recovered, feeling like I can do this again. We're gonna come back, weight on the heels, drop that head down, but the chest and the tailbone are up. We're gonna push back, and I'm gonna count this time, 10, just to keep me honest, and 9, and again, you could go a few more if you feel like with the weight you've got, you can do it. I'm gonna remind you, I've got 3 pounds, but when you have pre-fatigued, you've got yourself a little fatigue in that same muscle group, you can definitely feel it when you're isolating and getting the absolute work right to those muscles and bring it back. And when you go slow enough where you're pausing at the end, you're going to do more good than if you're doing more reps and doing them fast. I'm going to say that again. So if you're doing 20, but you're swinging that weight, it's not doing as much good as when you go slow and controlled and you hold it at the end. I'm going to do 2 more. Who's with me? Still there? Weight on the heels. Drop that head down a little bit and then relax and recover. And that's it. That's pre-fatiguing. So we did a long lever, getting that muscle kind of ready, feeling it, identifying where it is, and then 3 sets with volume. So if you think about what I just did, I snuck in 4 sets for the same muscle group on you. You're welcome. Okay, let's talk about tempo. Now typically, in one repetition, we'll do 1 to 2 seconds to push, lifting the weight up against gravity, 3 to 4 seconds coming down. That's on average about 6 seconds per repetition. Now that's for, here's where we are, standing. That's a guideline, that's a blueprint. And then we can go faster using power, and we can go slower, which is what we're doing today. So whenever you're going somehow lighter with your weight, adding that fatigue. Now normally with this exercise, I'm gonna lie down and I'm gonna do a skull crusher, okay? I would use these if I wanted to reach fatigue in say 8 or 10, maybe even 5 repetitions depending on the day. But if I am needing to go light, because maybe my elbows are not taking that kind of pressure. Maybe it's that connective tissue not feeling good when I go a little heavier, I'm gonna opt to go lighter. And I've got both 5s and 3s here, and I tell you that because I know you'll ask. But one thing I want you to remember is, my weights are none of your business. It's really most important that you're lifting the weight that is right for you. So I want you to come down, lower back on the floor. We're gonna hold this weight up, and then I want you to drop your shoulders back. So if you are indeed gonna do a skull crusher with me, here's how we need to line up. Wrist right over the elbow, right over the shoulder, and we're retracting, kissing the mat with your shoulder blades. Now when we come down, remember the count usually. 1 to 2 seconds in a push up, and 3 to 4 seconds coming down slow. That's an eccentric contraction. But when we do tempo, we change the game. So what we're gonna do is lower down, indeed, with 4 counts. 1, 2, 3, 4, but I'm gonna hold it right here for 2 counts. 1, 2, and I'm gonna push it up slowly. 1, 2, 3, and 4, and I can hold it here at the top, but I really don't need to, because the muscles are not working. So I'm gonna lower down. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Now hold it right here while they're contracted maximally. 2 counts, and then we go up. 4, 3, 2, and 1. And we can go again down. 4, and 3, and 2, and 1. Stay right here. 1, and 2. And that is the game changer. 4, and 3, and 2, and 1. Lower it down. 4, 3, 2, and 1, and stay right here. 2 counts on that contraction, right? Time under tension is getting a big boost right here. So we're gonna lower down at 4, and 3, and 2, and 1, and hold for 2, and I'll do math for you. So now it's 10 counts to every repetition. Where on average before, what was it? It was 6. So now we've got more time under tension, and those muscles are having to work really endurance right here, holding, 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 and in that push, still holding, holding, holding. I'm gonna do 1 more. Now normally it would probably take me 30 repetitions to reach fatigue with these weights, because I can lift much heavier, and that would still be muscle endurance. But this stops the wear and tear. I'm getting a little bit more stimulation here for muscle strength as well. I'm going to bring this down. So again, rest period, right? So we want at least a minute when we're focused on lighter weights, more repetitions. So I'm going to chat with you just for a second. We'll do a second and a third set, okay? So we will still have, again, this full volume with 3 sets. That's the minimum, really. If you want to get over that, I want lean muscle mass. I want to increase my lean so that I can decrease my fat, boost my metabolism, not overstress the joints. Now, if you specifically have an issue with your elbow and possibly your shoulder because it's engaging here, stabilizing, this exercise, and maybe tricep exercises in general, are not ideal for you. But do think that we can do this very same thing with body weight kinds of exercises for our hamstrings, or for our chest, or for our back and larger muscles. Are you ready? So we have 1 minute. Coming back up. Now I'm turning my palms toward my feet. There's no harm, no foul. You can turn your palms in, but I do want you to retract. So see the difference between my shoulders here. Drop them in, weight at the center of your head, and we're going to bring this down. 2, 3, 4. Stay right here. Your elbow should be right over your shoulder. And so if you don't have a good sense of where your body is in space, it may help you to videotape yourself. Lower down in 4, 3, 2, and 1. And stay right here for 2, and 1, and up, and 2, and 3, and 4. Stay here, and lower down 4, and 3, and 2, and 1. Pause at the bottom. We're really not pausing at the top. We're just owning it. 1, 2, 3, 4. Ready to go again. And down. I have a little shaking going on over here. How are we doing? 3 and 4. Stay here for 2. Your muscles are still working. And push. And 2 and 3 and 4. Lower down. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Stay here for 2 and 1. Push up. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Stay here and then go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Stay here. 1, 2, and push. 2, 3, 4. How are we doing? And 4 down. 1. I'm starting to wind. 3 and 4. Stay here. We're still working. It's not really hanging. And then push. 4, 3, 2, and 1. And weights come down. Take a little break. Think about, do you have the right weight? And did you also reach fatigue, right? So it's always best to err on the conservative side. And if you're feeling like, this is really burning and I don't think I really have control, go with your smaller weights. And if you don't have smaller weights, you can't downsize. Run right into your kitchen cabinet. Look for, do you have 2 cans of green beans? Do you have 2 cans of soup? 2 cans of kidney beans? Similar size, similar weight, really important, right? And grab those instead. Those are probably going to be about 16 ounces, right? 14, 16, and very appropriate. And I have talked my way through that. I'm going to downsize. And I'm going to take my palms forward because during that, you may have discovered one of those is easier than the other. For me, neutral was. So I'm going to come back and do palms forward. Retract those shoulder blades, lower down in 4, 3, 2, and 1. Stay here. I want you to think about your wrist for a second. Push up. Make sure you're keeping that nice and straight. And 4, stay. And lower down 1, and 2, and 3, and 4. And again, tune into the wrist. Keep it extended. And then push. And 2, and 3, and 4. And while you know what's happening now, I'm going to talk you through form. So you want to make sure the elbows are staying in, not winging out to the side. Stay down with me, 2 counts. Push up. 1, 2, 3, 4. And lower down. 1, and 2, and 3, and 4. Stay here for 2, and 1. And push up, lift. And 2, and 3, and 4. Stay here. And lower down. 4, and 3, and 2, and 1. Stay here. Push up. 1, and 2, and 3, and 4. Good. Stay here. Lower down. 1, and 2, and 3, and 4. Stay for 2. Push up. 1, and 2, and 3, and 4. Good. Hold it. And lower. 1, 2, 3, 4. Straight wrist. Good. Elbows in. 2, 3, 4. And this is the last one. Definitely shaking going on over here, right? And this is the surprise. It's a super lightweight. It's embarrassingly light, actually, and it's pink. for crying out loud, and I'm fatiguing. And lower it down. Nice. 3 sets, plenty of volume, and ideally plenty of tricep targeting. All right, third and final set. In this set, what I'm going to show you is how to superset. Supersets happen in a lot of different ways. They can be opposing muscle groups, where you might do your biceps, your triceps, or your chest and your back and forth and back and forth and back and forth until you're finished with all sets. Supersetting can also be same or different body part. Let's go there. So we could do the chest and we could do squats. We could do chest press squats, a little bit more rest and recovery when you change body parts. And in this case, the last option is supersets of same muscle group. Same muscle group for 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 exercises. So I will sometimes do, this is how we're finishing. This is a workout finisher. We're really going to kind of burn out the triceps, if you will. So at home, you've got different options. Not all exercises are appropriate for everybody. So know yourself. If a certain exercise is more risky, I will let you know when I'm doing it. So I'm going to start down on the floor, and I'm going to start with about 15 repetitions. Remember, the goal at each set is fatigue. But as we get to the 3rd and the 4th and the 5th, remember, this is more like, okay, I've done like 25, 35 repetitions. I should be tired. So we're not resting between, just enough to transition. I'm going to start with a skull crusher. So we've just done it. If you watch this in the video, drop your shoulders back, palms forward. We're going to lower this down with great form, slow enough, and with a push. Slow enough so we can see the elbows stay in directly over the shoulders. The wrist is staying straight, and push up. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. And I'm on the floor. You could be on a bench, but my preference for you is that you're not on a ball, so that you're really focused on the muscle group and not on every other muscle group if you really want to isolate this working muscle. There are times when functional workouts, we want you to work on the entire integration of all those parts working when we put you on an unstable surface like a ball, but this is not necessarily one of them. Good. Now I'm going to do one more, and we're at about 10, and I apologize for the not counting. Right, and here I'm going to put the weights down and roll over to the side if you need to come up. I'm going to come into a standing position, and I'm going to do a straight arm kick back, working the triceps across the shoulder, and a standing overhead press. So in my standing position, I'm going to take that long arm tricep, retract the shoulders again, drop the weights down, palms face back, or they could face in if that's really uncomfortable for you. And we're going to push back and then release. And when we're stacking these up, I'm just doing about 10 of each one. You might be able to do 15, but with weights that are light, even when you're starting, if you've done a full body workout, which I would love for you, right? Nobody's going to get arm tone from arm exercises alone. I'm going to repeat that. Nobody's going to get arm tone from arm exercises alone. These are a great finisher to a full body workout, but alone, they won't change your body composition enough, which is what we really need, is that whole systemic body composition change. More muscle all over means more metabolism, fat loss, so you can actually see the pretty muscle you're creating underneath. Now, you should be getting close to fatigue if you have the right weight. So you're looking for that a little bit lighter. You can handle it, not causing any stress. Good, and release. Now, just for visual sake, so that I'm in the center of the camera. So you can do this standing or seated. Don't have to be in a lunge position. Just want to be sure that I'm in the middle of the camera lens. Drop those shoulders down. So when the weights come up, we sometimes raise the shoulders. See the difference? Drop that in. Keeping the elbows right over the shoulder. No arching to the back and down and up. Now, a lot of you will say, I can't do this. And that may be true when you're doing it with heavy weight. If you go light, many of you can do it. And it's just a matter of when you go heavy, there's a lot more stabilization that has to happen at your shoulders. And here, when you're going lighter, you don't have that. So enjoy that and build up your stability and strength in the shoulders here, and you may be able to go heavier later on. Good, exhale. Good, so dropping the shoulders, check in again, make sure your neck, you can look side to side, don't do it, but make sure you could, and down. Good, we're gonna do 3 more, and you should be already feeling it, right? Your third exercise in should definitely be helping you polish this off. Good, and I'm gonna do 1 more. Great, and bring this down. Nice. Now you have to decide, can I or can't I do this one, right? So I'm gonna bring this to a couple of different options. You could go higher and bring it to the wall, but what I want you to do is to come into basically a push-up position, but we're gonna bring the hands in and turn them so that you're waving inside. Your index finger and thumbs can be connected. I'm gonna have you lower down with a nice flat back and push up. So again, if you need to go light because you can't take that extra stress, you're gonna do this higher on a wall, right in front of your chest, and push back in this way. So we are still targeting those muscles. That I can feel. This I most definitely can, and it's not feeling light. I could do these on the floor, but not today, not right now, because I've pre-fatigued it with too much else going on. So I want you to do the one that you should. Make sure you choose the version that you can and you should. And if that is the wall, that is okay. So feet closer, less weight. Feet further, more weight on those triceps. When your hands are closer together, we have more engagement at those triceps muscles. Nice job. Now, here's one that you often will see. This is one that I would recommend if you're going light to recover. This would work. If you're going light because you have issues with connective tissue, when we come out here and we're doing something like a dip, there's a lot more risk to the shoulder area and to the elbow when you're doing heavy body weight, your entire body weight here. Now, when we bend the knees, less weight, okay? If I come further out, more weight. If I come out and I lift one leg, even more. What I don't want to do is pull here. I have to keep this body close to the bench, okay? All right, so that's an option. Last but not least, I want you to think about one more. What can you do? Choose any one of this previous exercise, and then you have a stream of either 4 or 5 exercises in a row. If you happen to be at a gym or you have bands or tubing, there are also other things that you can do with pushing down with a bar or a rope that'll give you even more options and ways to stimulate those muscles. But choose 4 to 5 exercises in a row, and don't do that every time. Don't do it every week, but throw that in as an anomaly, something different and special, and you'll be stimulating your muscles in a way that makes them wake up. So, you still got it, girl. Okay, so I hope I'm not the only one with triceps saying, thank you very much. Yes, I was here, I felt that. So 3 workouts. You just got, don't do them all in the same day. You got 3 workouts that you can play with to change things up a little bit. When you're seeing, I'm going heavy, I'm doing as heavy as I possibly can, and you're maybe starting to get a little tight through the neck and the upper back and shoulders. Your shoulders are not always happy going heavy, or your elbows not always happy, especially if you're picking up your golf game in the summer and there's more stress on your shoulders anyway. Go lighter sometimes. You will be surprised happily with the results. So it's stimulation that isn't always strength. It's not always about fewer reps and going with major strength, or moderate reps, which are really about hypertrophy. Don't let that word scare you. Lean muscle mass means more metabolism, but also lighter weights, higher reps like today equals endurance. And sometimes that is the secret for some of us to get better muscle tone. So remember this, just arm exercises alone are not enough. So it takes a full body workout. You want to make sure you're using muscles in the chest, in the back, in the legs, the glutes, the quadriceps, the hamstrings regularly, at least twice weekly, reaching fatigue with multiple sets. If you want a little help, drop down below. I'll give you a link. You can go and find more about our 12-week program. But it also is nutrition. So it's not about eating less and exercising more, but it's about fueling the exercise you have and making sure that you're observing your insulin resistance and insulin sensitivity. Women in midlife have more issues with that, and we find that a lot of times when you resolve the insulin resistance problem, changing the order and sequence of foods that you eat, making sure that you're leading with protein and non-starchy vegetables, putting those carbs last in a meal, moving throughout the day, all those little things will help you see the muscle tone that you so want. And this is definitely the way to make light weights work for you for the muscle. Questions? Drop them below. Don't forget to subscribe, hit the bell, and you'll be notified when a new video